there are a number of skills. If you're a small to medium scale enterprise, if you're a solopreneur, if you're an entrepreneur, if you're a business of any size really, you do need specific skills in business to succeed, and that's what the Skill Farm do. Now, Scott, you're here today, and you're talking about the skill of the pitch. And I suppose a lot of people hate the pitch. They either get it, they over pitch, or they under pitch. Some people feel it's just about communicating. What are the kind of skills that you are telling people about today at the show?
I think the first thing to grab is the simplicity of a pitch. Is probably the one that connects most with people. So a clear, direct, to the point, as simple as possible, that's what we're looking for. Of course, that's the hardest thing for us in business to do, because we've spent a lifetime researching our business, our product. We've put hours and hours of our life and energy and best thinking that goes into whatever it is that we're doing. It's our creation. Of course, we love it in its depth of detail, and all of that's important to us. But then when we speak to other people about it, we feel this need to tell everyone everything that we know.
This is the issue that you get with websites, isn't it? We've been established 500 years, we've got 400 fans, 50 people work. I don't care. Do you make
no,
widgets?
I don't care. Yeah.
I don't care. And I suppose it's identifying what is the so what bit in the pitch again.
Absolutely.
And the other issue, I would imagine, when you're pitching, it matters a lot to you what you're pitching. It can be life and death, can't it? So a pitch for a contract, for a deal or whatever, that could be life or death.
In that moment, it feels so important, of course, and it feels so important to be able to tell people everything, because you want to show off your knowledge, and I feel that that's a completely natural, normal, human thing to want to do. But of course, I think by doing that, we get in the way of the message. And the message has to be about what is it that my customers or potential customers need to hear right now in order to make a decision. Now, that decision could be just to go on listening to you. It could be to get your card. It could be to, come on, let's have a cup of tea and have a chat about it, because this sounds interesting. Rather than thinking, well, I don't really know what this is a chap I met earlier this week. We worked on his pitch, and he said to me, I said, so what's your business? And he said, I have a business development modeling strategic consultancy.
What does that mean then?
Well, exactly. And whilst that was absolutely crystal clear to him what it was and what he does, of course to other people, they're spending time now trying to fathom, well, what on earth does that mean? And while they're thinking that, they're not making any decisions about, okay, this guy sounds like he's somebody I could work with.
It's all about clarity, isn't it?
Absolute clarity and simplicity, and it feels like you're dumbing down. I think that's the thing, is that we don't want to make it sound too simple, because it isn't. Usually our product or service has a lot of detail to it. Of course it does.
What about the tone and language that you use and the place that you put yourself when you're actually talking to a potential customer? Is it very much a case that I suppose the expression is, are you trying to feel the pain of the customer and therefore let them continue to pitch, let them nearly pitch to themselves? Or there are a lot of people who are very forceful in their pitch. You will buy this is what you want. And we saw that last week actually on The Apprentice. We've got Neil Clough coming on very shortly, the runner-up from last year. And we saw Jamie on Wednesday night, who is really right there. He's in your face. And is that a danger that people have when they're pitching?
Yeah, I think it is. I think there's a balance, isn't there? You've got, of course, people want to know what it is that you do and what you do that can benefit them, but you need to be able to listen to them as well. And so it really is a balance between fine-tuning your listening skills, which is a skill in itself, getting that right and knowing what to listen for, what questions to ask, so that you can start to draw the information out that you need, and then it's called active listening, isn't it? And that really all that means is just that you're able to respond to what you've heard rather than just waiting to speak.
Yeah.
And so I often ask people, are you really listening, or are you just waiting to say the next thing? And if you really think about that, often we're preparing our next question and our next comment or the next part of my sales pitch long before we've ever processed what's really been said. So listening absolutely is a key skill, but being able to get your message across with real confidence and real conviction, that's a real skill as well. So it's got to be a balance, and that's
Now-
what we do at the Skills Farm.
Now, we said there that we talked about the pitch, but the pitch sounds very much like some of the selling techniques that we're talking about. So the two go very much hand in hand, don't they?
Very closely related.
So that's one. Sorry, you were going to say.
Well, I was going to say, pitch, I think, means different things to different people. It could be your opening line at a networking event, for example. I mean, that you're starting to pitch from that moment. It could be a product demo as part of your sales process. It could be a sales conversation where you're meeting a client for the first time and starting to consult and get to know what's going on for that client. There's kind of pitches happen at all sorts of times and places throughout the whole sales process. It could then be something, a piece of work that you've won, and now you're bidding for some follow-up work and you've got to do another pitch. Well, that audience knows you, so it's got to be a different type of
Yeah.
pitch. There's so many pitches, presentations, that whole piece. These aren't easy skills to really master, which is why we train them.
Now, the Skill Farm, very briefly then, the Skill Farm, not only do you do pitching, you also do...
Presentation skills, how to influence people and how to persuade. So I think there seems to be a bit of a logical path from being able to kind of get the words right, that fundamental, here's what I need to say to engage you, and then start to work on the confidence and the conviction that needs to go with that message, and the listening skills. And then I think that naturally starts to move into, well, how do I influence and persuade people? How do I actually make an impact using my authority with real presence and actually have a positive impact on the situation, which could just be speaking up in a meeting, right through to presenting your product or your service and getting someone to sign on and place an order. And that whole range is what we teach at the Skills Farm.
So tell me, if I want to get more look, fantastic, a beautiful pitch if you don't mind me saying. If I want to find out more about the Skill Farm, where do I go and how do I find you?
So it's theskillsfarm.co.uk.
All one word, the Skills Farm.
Yeah, theskillsfarm.co.uk.
Fantastic. We look forward to it. And you're here today.
I'm here today speaking at 12 o'clock.
You're at 12 o'clock, so one of the keynotes, so well done to you. Thank you very much indeed.
My pleasure.
It's been an absolute pleasure meeting you.
Thank you,
very
Steve.
much indeed.
Yeah.
Scott Summers there from theskillsfarm.co.uk.